Hey there, Obi here. Alright, so this video is going to be for complete beginners. If for some reason you can't join the tutorial or you don't understand the tutorial, don't worry. I'm going to go over that in great detail in this video. I will also be discussing things that are not mentioned in the tutorial. I'm going to also go over some player settings, as well as some tutorial information that you can find outside of the tutorial within servers. If you are on PC and you come over here and you're looking for a server and it's empty, that is because most of the servers, if not all of them, are private. Everybody should head over to the ATT Discord, and that's where you're going to find the most help. And that's also where you're going to find these private PC servers. So make sure you check that out before you do anything else. So, don't skip the tutorial, but if you are looking for servers to join, you can pull this lever here, and the numbers will talk about how many people are currently online. There's my server right there, Starlight, beginner friendly. All of these servers right here are Quest servers because I am on Quest. If you're on PC, you will only see PC servers. There is only one server that is Crossplay. It's not really ever visited by people, but all of the servers, either they're Quest or they're PC right now. So, before we do that, we're going to go over here to the settings. I would say that these are kind of self-explanatory. You can test them out and see what they do here. But I want to go to sensory. And I don't know what yours is going to look like, but if you see here, I have everything turned on. So some of these don't matter, like the free finger gestures. That doesn't matter on Quest. Toggle name display, you should have that on. And the reason for that we'll show later is so that names stay on when you turn them on instead of turning off. I prefer classic colors because I don't like this. We're going to go back to classic colors. I think that looks much nicer. Grab assist, we're going to talk about it, so turn it on. Accessibility features will turn this on, so make sure those are on as well. Don't worry about anything else, but those are my settings. This doesn't seem to do anything on Quest either. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the tutorial. Anytime you join a server, they will be here on your My Servers page. Tutorial will always say 0 players. I don't know why, but there's usually people in there. So what we're going to do is grab this orb and we're going to join. If this takes more than a few minutes, it's possible that the tutorial's not working for you. Okay, so when we get started, we usually start out with this little ugly guy right here. You can customize everything here. Now, there are cosmetics that you can buy with real money using in-game currency called Talems, which is discussed right there. If you want to take a look at some things, you can just swipe along and see what they have on offer. This updates every 2 weeks. And you can try things on from there. The problem's going to be that if you don't own it, if you didn't buy it by pulling down this lever here, you can't leave. You can't leave here. So we're gonna go back here, and what you'll do is you'll click here to look at body size. Make sure that like this is a female torso, this is a male torso. It's not so obvious until you look from the side. So, like, you can put the body shape, skin color, the eye type, nose. Okay, let's put some hair on him. Let's just do this hairstyle. Some of these hairstyles are free. Some of them you have to buy. Make sure you put eyebrows on your character, and make sure you put eyelashes. These are the two that come with it. We're just going to put that on there now. I think that looks much better than without it. Alright. You will have facial hair. You're going to have shirts, some access to different shirts. I think you start out with these 2 skirts. The other ones you have to buy. Same thing like vest, some outer clothing, hats, glasses, and etc. You just can scroll around here. So you can take a brush and we can color everything, right? So the eyebrows, the eyelashes, the shirt, we can use a different color, for example, as an accent color, and just play around and see what everything looks like. So we can do that. Now, when you want to save a character, you need an empty slot. Okay, so I have an empty slot right there, and I want to save this character. This drops down a little bobblehead, and we place him there, and it's saved. And so now every time you join a world, you need to load that character on there, or if you don't like it, you can just delete it. So I have a character saved over here. Okay, and I just place it there, and I always have it ready to go. Okay, so now that we're ready, we're going to go and step on this platform. Alright, so we've loaded in, and you will see that other people are loading in as well. I'm going to try to ignore everybody, and I'm going to explain all these things that are going on. Hopefully no one talks, but I have muted my mic, and I will talk about how to do that later. So when we get started, it discusses for example, like the exit option and things like that. Some people have in the past complained that they're not able to complete the achievements. I don't know why that is. You don't need to worry about it. You don't really have to do this, but it's just recommended. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press either the Y button or the B button. So take a look at your controllers. And when we press that button, you will see that we have these options. Now, I am holding the button down. I'm holding B, and we will have certain options, and we'll talk about those later. So if we want to exit this world, we would use the exit icon, and we'll have an orb that we need to use. Always use that when you want to leave a world. Don't just close out. Like, do that and then close the game. All right, so let's get started. It's going to talk about teleporting. So if we use the A button, we will see that we have an option for teleporting. Teleporting is a little bit faster. I don't like using it, but some people might have motion sickness. Let's go down here. All right. So we're going to go straight up here, and it's going to talk about some of the options, again, using our B or Y button. So this is the exit. We just talked about that. This is how we turn on names. So you'll hover over and you let go of the button, and that's let's actually show that in action. Let's find somebody. Did everybody leave? Okay, so like this person right here, they can't hear me. So I've just turned names on, and we can see that their name is Time for June. And I can turn those names off. So on, off. All right. I'm going to keep names off for now. They talk about, well, they call it a name card here. Most people call this a friendship cookie. You know, do you want my cookie or something like that? And what you'll have to do is hold it, and then somebody else has to grab it before it's activated. So once it's activated, it'll disappear, and their name will turn green. And then when you're in the world, if you have a map, you will see their icon, which looks like that, on the map as green. Everybody else will be red. When you're in the tutorial, once you've read everything, just press this, and it marks it off as completed. Now, I have muted my microphone. I did that when I started. Microphone's on, microphone's off. If for some reason you join a server and you can't hear anybody, cycle through that option there, If they still can't hear you or you can't hear them, use the exit orb, exit the game, quit the game completely, and then rejoin, and you should be good to go. Alright, the camera. The camera's cool. So we're going to use our trigger button to take pictures, but not yet. So I'm going to grab it with the grab button. And we can take a photo just like this if we want to. Alright, and that shows up just for you. Nobody else can see it on Quest. On PC, it's different. Alright, if I come over here, there's going to be a selfie option, and there's also a timer. Now, I have my settings turned way up. So whenever I take a photo, it saves, and I get a little bit of camera lag or a little bit of stuttering that's going on. Alright, so I want to take a photo for the thumbnail, and I need I'm going to take 2 seconds, right? I'm going to back up, and so I can grab this, and you'll see that you can't take a photo of it. I'm going to click it, get into position, and then there we go. Alright, so, and then I've just closed my camera. A lot of this stuff you don't need to worry about. We did talk about this already, about discovering servers. Apples, we can pick apples. We'll talk about that later, so not right now. If I were you, just go around, read the signs. Some of them are not important. I'm going to skip a lot of them. Okay, so this is talking about looking at your stats on your wrist. It's both wrists. When you start a server, you should start out with 8 hearts. So the pink part is a heart. So 1, 2, right to 8. We've got nutrition, and then we've got fullness, that little pip there. Now, my fullness just went down once. Once you read these, you place your hands, and you're done. So let's just show you fullness real quick. So watch this. Watch my wrist. There you go. My nutrition went up, and so did my fullness. If you're on the your server, or on a server, you can break these with an axe or a sword. That way you don't have to leave them around. But I'm gonna litter. Okay. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna talk about inventory, because this is going to be very important. So remember the accessibility features that I talked about? We have that turned on for a reason. So your Y and B button, which is up top, you're going to press them at the same time. So if we look down, we can see we have inventory, right? If we press Y and B at the same time, our inventory will pop up, so it's easier for us to reach. Other players can't see this, only you, okay? So up and down, right? If you want to get low to the ground, we can press our Y or B button. We can hover over here, and you will see that there are options to make you lower to the ground or higher up. Okay, so we're also going to want to collect some inventory. So if we use the trigger button, you can see that there are some dots. If it's white, it's out of reach. If it's green, it means that we can pick something up. So I'm going to press the trigger button. I'm holding the trigger button, and now grab. See? All right. And we just place the inventory into the slot. If we come over here, it talks about tired of holding the trigger down, right? So like right now, you can see that I'm not holding the trigger down because my finger is out. So I'm holding, right? But if I let go, nothing happened. Why? Because I double tapped. You double tap your trigger, and then now I'm not holding any buttons. And then I just hold grip again, and it lets go. All right, so what I'm going to do, because you don't need to see me do all this, I'm going to collect some grass. I'm going to get 2 flint. Basically, you grab them, pull hard until they come out of the ground. So flint, sticks, flint, stones, sticks, and grass. I'm going to collect all that, and then we're going to go on to the next point. Okay, so I've collected these items, And this is talking about pouches. So this is a pouch. So what you will do is you will grab an item from your inventory. And if you grab and hold it, you will make a pouch. We can split the pouch in half by grabbing and holding. And now we have split it in half. Let's say that I need 8 of them. I can use my joystick. I'm going to use my joystick, and I'm going to put multiple items into the other side. You can see that I'm doing that now. Now, it will never go below 2 because it won't be a pouch at that point. So let me show you that. So if I have this and I just need a single item, I grab, and now I've got single items. I can't put them back together. I have to put them into an inventory slot or an inventory dock before I can make a pouch again, okay? So if I only have a single item, I can still put them on top. All right, so that's a pouch. We're going to go in here and we're going to talk about crafting. So in the game server, you will come across a crafting hut that will have a book with recipes. We don't have that book here, but we do have a recipe. And let me show you how to understand it. So this right here is an icon for a stick. And this, it's not so clear, but that is a piece of grass. So this is telling us that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of grass. And then we've got this weird icon here, and that represents 10. This game does not hold your hand. It does not explain things very well. This is why it's very important to play with other people. Okay, so we can rotate this here. We can make it higher or lower as well. And we can make a bag. I'm not going to go through the entire process with you guys. All right, so it kind of tells you what we need. Like you see, nothing's glowing green. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But we can see that we need a stick. And while we do that, there are nails that appear. So we need a hammer. You can take a rock and a stick, and you see how they want to come together. Let go of the rock, and we have made a hammer. In your server, you want to make sure that you hit these in as straight as possible. If you're too slow, the item will fall off and you have to do it again. If you don't do it straight, if you do it crooked in your server, it'll break. On the tutorial, it doesn't break. See, it'll show red like it wants to break, but I don't think it's going to break. Yeah, I don't think we can break it here. So usually this will break. Okay, once we do this entire process, so let's do one more because I want to show you guys. Hold on, let's do that. And then here, I'm not going to make a full bag. All right. I just want to show you guys that sometimes, yeah, it needs grass, and there's no nails. Once we have that completed, once there's nothing else to add, you can just pick up the bag and you can place it on your back. So you will hear a noise when you place it on your back. Make sure that you hear that noise every time. Also be aware that people, as of right now, can place items on your back as well. Make sure you don't drop your bag, okay? So, let's keep going around. Some of these signs are not so necessary. I'll just set that there for him. Talking about eating, talking about the main menu, talking about crafting, talking about some places don't go, so it's just talking about a dead end. All right, we're going to go over here. And before we go over here, we need some tools. So, if we take flint and a stick, we now have an axe or a pickaxe. We're going to need this. So we come over here, and we can either find rusty items, or we can craft our own. In the game server, you can make tools out of other metals. And we're kind of talk about mining, we're going to talk about that over there. So, in the world, there are trees that you cannot cut, like this one. We can't cut that. But the ones with this, like, segmented bark, we can. You just kind of need to learn where to cut it. So, you can see that, like, some places cut and other places don't. So, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go around the tree, work my way around. Sometimes you have to break these branches off. Alright. Still working my way around. I wish they gave me a smaller tree to work with. Come on. There we go. When the tree falls, if it falls on you, don't worry. You're not going to take damage. It kind of just ignores you. So I'm going to break this here. There we go. And once we get this chunk, we can break it into woodcut wedges, or some people call them logs. Now, if you're in a world and you want your tree to grow back, you need to cut down the stump. So like these people here, they never cut the stump. So we have to cut the stump. And once the stump is cut, a new tree can grow here. All right, let's collect some wood. I'm going to put that here. I don't need this anymore. And hold on. Okay, there we go. It would have been better if I had a bag, but I didn't make one. All right, so I've got my pouch, right? Now, with a pouch, you can use it kind of like a vacuum. So if you press items to the top of it, you can collect items that way. Now, I don't need this wood, so I'm just going to leave it here for now. And I am going to do the next part. Actually, let's go over here. Let's set up a nice little place. You're going to see these symbols everywhere in the world. This is the Hebius symbol, so you'll see Hebius camps in your game. Some people will call them bandit camps, but it is Hebius. All right. So I've just placed down grass on the ground. You can even pick it up. And if you have grass and you have a fuel source, such as wood or coal, sticks don't work, you can make a fire. And I left my flint over here. You should always, always, always have at least 2 flint on you, because it's useful for making fires and also useful for breaking things down in the crafting house. So I'm going to make a fire. Alright, now I know that there is an apple tree right here. And we talked about nutrition earlier. You should always cook your food if you want the best nutrition. If the item is close enough to the fire, it'll have white smoke to let you know that it's cooking. After about 45 seconds, your food will change color and the smoke will change color. Once it's brown, you know that once the smoke is brown, you know that it's been cooked. So some items, such as apples, we can actually cut them and we can make little chunks. Or you can just eat the whole thing. And you can see that my nutrition went up. And also my fullness went up. Okay. Let's move on. Let's continue on to the quarry area.
Hello.
I hate to be rude, but I'm just going to keep going. So the boulder quarry. Now, this is interesting because in the world where you play in the server, we don't go up. We go down. We go down into the mines. So you're going to want flint, a stick, and grass, because we need to make... Let's try that again. All right. We need grass to make a torch. All right. I'm going to mute that person. Actually, I'm just going to make it so we can't hear anybody. I didn't talk about this, but we can also mute people using the social tablet. The social tablet should tell you who is on this server or people that you've met on this server. So like this person I saw in the beginning, and we can scroll through it, and if there's somebody that is maybe loud or annoying, this is one of my friends, that's why it's green, I can mute that person and I don't have to hear them. Also, you can report players. The only person who can see that is the owner of the server that you play on. I promise you it's kind of useless, but I have a video on that. Alright, so flint, hit them together until I have fire. And we're going to go up here. And we're going to do some mining. So it even tells you when we get here, look how cool the moon looks. I did make a video about the moon as well because it does move. You can also burn grass while it's on the ground. So, it says dark caves ahead. When you are on the game server, it is very, very, very possible to go into the caves and not know where you are because it is pitch black. If you're far enough down, firebugs will spawn. You can grab firebugs, you can shake them. You can also break them or kill them, and they can light fires as well, but that's not here. Okay, so this is coal. We can hear that nice ping sound, and it means that we're able to break it. We can use coal just like we used wood. We can also put it in lanterns. And this is copper. So copper will sometimes drop stone, flint, and copper ore. So this ore, you can use it in the blacksmith. We're going to talk about the blacksmith later. 3 pieces of ore will make an ingot. There are base materials, and there are also alloys, which I will not be discussing in this video. Let's move on. So we're going to continue up the whole time. Even though there is like a cool little thing I want to show you guys. I don't know if this is the right way. Yeah, here it is. I love this. So this is talking about worms, and worms come up from the ground, and you will see them in the playable world, not in the tutorial. Alright, let's move on. I need to go up. As I said, in the game server world, you're going down into the mines and never up. Okay, so this right here is iron. And we hear that sound. I think it's a very satisfying sound. This sound actually means that you're not able to mine this. Why is that? It's because you need something made. You need material. Oh my gosh! You need tools made out of copper or better to mine it. But we're not able to do that here. Okay. So here's this. Is fall damage a thing? So we can walk out over here and we can die. We have a timer. We're not going to touch this yet. If there were other players around me, they would see a gravestone, and that gravestone would have 3 crystals floating around it. They would grab those crystals, they'd place them into the gravestone, and then I would have access to it. And then I could take a crystal and put it on my face and let go. And I need to do that 3 times. So place the crystal on my face and let go. But nobody's here to save me. No one's here to rescue me, so I cannot resurrect right here. Instead, I have to die and respawn, which is fine because we're done with the island. We're going to move on to the next part. So I'm going to grab this. Please be aware that some servers, this is extremely rare, some servers have drop loot on death turned on. Most servers don't these days, but some servers do. So if you die, it's very possible that you'll lose all of your items. Again, it's quite rare. Just ask people before you join or read the information board, which we're going to talk about. Okay, so here we are back in the lobby. As I said, if you want to join a server and you don't have one, you can discover them this way. If your friends have a specific server and they want you to join it, you'll have to do that through the website tavern.townshiptale.com, or you might have something here in your inbox. I think it'll be like a gold icon here, and it'll say there's a server, and you can accept it, and then it'll show up. But we're actually going to go to, I have a server that is vanilla, so there's no mods or anything like that on it. Nobody plays on it. And you can see here where I put drop loot on death is on. Player graves are on. And then there's my server's Discord right there. And we're going to join this. Alright, when you load into a world for the first time, you will come here, which is considered original spawn. And you're going to head in towards town, which is this way. Generally, when you start out, you're going to have a grass bag on your back and a few other items, but it's really just like sticks and flint and stuff, just like we had in the tutorial. I did make a video about that crystal structure there, so maybe search my channel if you want to learn more about that. There also are going to be maps around the world that you can unlock. Mine is completely unlocked. If there were other people on this server, we would see them as like a little red figure or a green figure if they are our friends. Again, you can also check the social tablet to see who is online. Alright. So, we've got these signs here that let us know that, for example, the training grounds, the mines, carpenter, blacksmith. Now, the blacksmith has a tutorial, which most people don't know about, which is odd because I think it's pretty obvious. So we're going to go first to the blacksmith, then we're going to go to the carpenter. So we make our way up to the blacksmith. Now, if this is your own private server that you have started, a lot of these things, like these stairs and stuff, will not be built. But if you join a public server, most of them are going to have things completed. You're going to have community bins and things like that, which you can take items out of. Anything in here is usually free game. Depends on the server, but usually it's free game. And you can see, for example, my server doesn't have this built because we recently cleaned everything out. That's another story. Alright, so this is the blacksmith, and you want to learn how this works. Well, there's a tutorial. You grab this orb, and without leaving the server, we will enter the tutorial. I'm not going to explain how to do this because everybody has access to this, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So pick up an unformed sword to continue, and it explains it. We can see that it's dull. It's not formed. We throw it into the fire. And you hear like a little bing noise to let you know you've done something, and you will see that things have changed. We have a hammer, right? Things like that. Now, once we do all of this, it'll be time to leave. Some people, like me, will have a problem with leaving. So, alright, I've left without any problem, and here I am. I'm back here with all of my stuff like I had before. If you can't leave the tutorial area, use the exit orb, exit, and then come back, and you will be here. Don't worry, you can't get stuck in there. Alright, so I'm going to wait until it's daytime, and then we're going to start again with the carpenter. Alright, so it's now daytime, and we're going to head to the carpenter. Now, I have given myself speed, so I'm going to kind of zoom over to the carpenter. The problem is when I zoom, you'll see that it takes a while for things to load in. But what we're going to do is we're going to zoom over here to the wood. If you need a chop wood, you can do that over the sandstone bridge, or there's another place over there. We're not really going to talk about all those areas today. We're kind of done once we do this. I want to have 6 wood. So you can grab and hold the icon. You can take everything out. If you have excess and you don't need it, just throw it back. Just toss it right there, just like that. Okay, so this is the carpenter, or carpentry. And we're going up here. I'm going to reset this. This is the wood deck. And we need a recipe. There's a recipe book here. If, for whatever reason, there is no book here, grab 2 flint, light the candle. We're going to watch what happens. There we go. Light the candle, and the book will reappear. So, when you open this, it's not so obvious, but this is trying to say that 6 woodcut wedges, or 6 logs, will make one of these icons. So that's for the recipe, right? So there's either 6, 12, or 18 needed for all recipes. We're going to make a small handle just for demonstration purposes. So see that icon? That means we need 6 pieces of wood. If you want a handle for a pickaxe or an axe, you're going to need a handle that looks like a cricket bat. It kind of doesn't quite represent what it looks like in the game, but that's what you're looking for. All right, so we've got wood, and you're going to take one at a time, and you're going to throw it onto the deck. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, just try it again. All right. So we have 6 pieces, and now we have an indicator. This is where we need flint. Now, some people use chisels. You will never, ever need a chisel. Just use 2 pieces of flint, pointy side down, and you're going to be hitting the top of the flint onto the other piece until you break, whoops, don't break that, until you break all of the necessary blue parts. So let's do this. Hopefully I don't break this in my haste. There we go. Now we can break that part and this part and this part. And let's go around here. And then, yeah, we can rotate it. There we go. And it looks like we're done, but we're not. What you'll do is you'll chip away at every part possible. So it's like 1, 2, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it's all around. You can't really see it. You just have to imagine it. There we go. Until you get your handle. So this is a short handle, just like you see here. You can make all of this stuff in the blacksmith if you have the molds. Alright, so I don't really need this handle. Anytime there's something you don't need, just throw it in a shelf and people will find it. Ignore that. Now, that's pretty much it. If we go into town, we will notice that there is like a section to change our skin. So we can go in there. This is the tavern. There's going to be like a recipe book. There's places to cook and things like that. This is the market. Now, my market's not built. Again, we reset the server recently. There was a reason for that. This is the crafting house. So remember the bag? So this is where you can craft that or other things. So you can rip those pages out. You will have town hall, the training grounds. This little hut right here, there you go. It didn't want to load in. It's called the mining hut. There's nothing really in there. You don't really need to worry about it. The mines are there. Climbing tower is there. I have a video on how to get there, so check that out. And then there's town hall, where you will have access to the ATM, so you can keep money in there. And there's also like a coin press and things like that. There's another market. Again, it's not built on this server. So that's pretty much the beginner's guide to getting started. If I were you, I would check out a server. I'm going to recommend mine, of course. Starlight. This is not Starlight. This is Stardust. Starlight probably has about 8 or 9 people that are online like right now as I make this video. It will say Starlight, beginner friendly. A lot of the people on there are going to help you out. Or just join any server and just walk around and ask people, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And likely they'll tell you. So that's pretty much it to get you started in a Township tale. I hope this was helpful for you all. Leave a comment. And until next time, I'll see ya.